Hi there. Today we're going to start recombining models together to create our own objects from our imagination. You can use this to create mythological creatures, you can use it to create dragons, you can use it to create monsters from B horror movies. But when we do this, we need to be careful, especially when we're doing this for assignments. All of the modules that we use in 3D printing have a learning outcome about respecting copyright. So we need to be aware of copyright on Thingiverse, and we need to make sure that we are going through the motions of actually displaying the correct copyrighted information when we upload projects. So one of the reasons I like Thingiverse is that everything on Thingiverse, as we said at the first day of class, uses the Creative Commons system. So Creative Commons, any model that you make is automatically protected. You are its creator as long as the work is unique. People can't just copy it. Creative Commons, though, is a way of easily making your wishes about how you want other people to be able to use your work known. So I'm starting with a fish here, the same fish we used in our previous models. I want to combine this fish with, say, a hippo. I need to look at its Creative Commons license. This is a Creative Commons attribution non-commercial license. So I can use this model as long as I give credit to Davison 3D, that's the attribution part, and as long as I do not use it for commercial purposes, that's the non-commercial part. If I want to combine this with another model, I need to compare its license to the other model. So here's a printable hippo by ML Works. If I go down to the license by ML Works, I see that this is actually in the public domain. The person who created this said anyone can use this no matter what. I make no claims to it as my legal property. So anyone can use it because it's public domain. So I could combine these two models together and then share it with my students, or you as students could share it with me. I would not be able to take this fish and combine it with this model, however. Tar of Zandoria by Zandoria. This is a model that someone has made for their own animation program, and they have licensed it under a different licensing agreement than anything else. You can print this model, yes. You can display this model, yes. You have to attribute it to Zandaria, like you do with all Creative Commons works, but this is also a non-derivative model. Any model that you see that uses this equal sign, you cannot use in classroom projects. The reason is that the no derivatives license means that no changes can be made to the model. It has to be kept the exact same as its original form. That means you couldn't combine it into one of your models and then share it with me, because that would be in violation of the no derivatives license. So you would be able to use the printable hippo with the fish, you would not be able to use Tara of Zandoria. I'm going to change my modeling idea a bit though. I've decided I want to do something different. I'm going to combine a fish with a spider. So I'm going to keep using Davison 3D's fish. If I were to combine it with this spider, I believe, yep, the DOTA spider by Nartan24, this has a lower level of license than Davison's fish. This spider just requires attribution. As long as you credit the creator of this spider, you can use this for whatever purposes, including for commercial purposes. So you would be able to sell something that included parts from this model, and it would be legal because you have been licensed it through the Creative Commons license. It can be remixed, it can be remade, and it can be sold. The spider head here, you would also be able to remix with Davison's fish because they have the exact same type of license. If I want to make another change though, say I want to take my DOTA spider and combine it with a shark. The Flying Great White Shark by XYZ Workshop would be recombinable with the DOTA spider. Both of them are basically attribution licenses. But the Great White Shark has a share alike clause in its license. That means that anything that uses part of this shark in it has to be shared under the exact same Creative Commons license. So normally, if you were to take the Davison fish and combine it with the DOTA shark, you would have to share this as attribution, because both of them have attribution, and you would have to share it as non-commercial, because Davison's fish is also non-commercial. But you couldn't combine the Davison fish with the Flying Great White Shark. Anything that is derived from the Flying Great White Shark has to have the attribution share alike license. It could not have an attribution non-commercial share alike license. So when you see the share alike symbol, the circular arrow, that means you need to use the exact same license type. So you can't use any models in the combination with this that have symbols that are not included in the share alike license. This can be a little bit confusing to work with, but it is really, really important. Anytime that we take models off of Thingiverse and recombine them, you're going to have to look at the licensing. So, if you need to, watch this video a couple times. If you're still not sure about it, I can go through it with you one-on-one and talk through it and work with the parts of it that are confusion. Make sure as well that before you submit any project that you're using models from Thingiverse, that you just double check with me that you've done everything correctly. That'll help you. This is something that I'm going to mark pretty hard on. If you mess up the licensing and you've violated the terms of the license, that could be pretty serious in the real world. That could end up with you actually being sued for copyright infringement, and if you're trying to run a business, that could end up being the end of your business because it shuts you down. So I want to make sure when I mark you guys on work that you've done, especially with recombining models, that you are doing the correct licensing. If you're not, you're either going to have to redo it or you're not going to get a very good mark. Now, the way that I want you to show licensing is I want you to show licensing in a Google document. Think of this as being like a bibliography for your work. If you've recombined models, you're going to show them here. So I'm going to title this document Shark Spider Licenses. In this document, I'm going to put tags from all of the models that I used in order to make this shark spider. This is another nice thing about Thingiverse. If you scroll down past the license all the way to the give a shout out box, what this is it lets you print a tag or copy a tag that gives all of the copyright attribution information. So once you go to that tag, you can actually take a screenshot of it using your snipping tool, or if you're using another computer, you can do it in another way. And you should be able to then paste that into this document. So this shows the attribution for the shark. Then I would go do the same thing with the spider that I'm using. Go to the tag, take a screenshot of it, and paste it in. It's a fairly easy way to do the bibliography. It makes sure that you have all of the information, but you've got to have it all in there. So anytime that we're doing a project where you've used something that's somebody else's work, you need to make sure that you include this. And you're going to have to submit this for this assignment as well.